Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective. Hello, C. You're the first one in the house, the only one in the house so far. I had to make sure my D Live was cranked up and everything's ready to go. Uh, I'm doing this on a live stream, kind of a quick one, because I just tried to do a walk around video and my app for that apparently has crashed. So, may not be able to do walk arounds for a little while. I got to figure out what's going on with that. But we'll see what happens. Matthew, good to see you, brother. Welcome. Margot, Dangerous Freedom. And of course, C. Hi, C. Kentucky Patriot, welcome. Um, Listen, I got some stuff on my mind. Things are smelling awfully fishy. Like if you've ever smelled a dead fish on the dock, that's kind of what I'm smelling. 223, welcome. And Slanty Shuffer Bear, how you doing? Appreciate that diamond. Thank you for that. And welcome to all my new followers on D Live. Please, if you haven't yet done that, follow me on D Live. It'll allow you to continue to see me in the future when things go to pot and YouTube kicks us off. Jerry Coat, how you doing? What happened to COVID-19? Yeah, it's over. We've all healed up. We're done with that now. All right, so let's start this thing. I have been doing a little bit of research. Uh, just did a show, goes on at 7 p.m. with Cody Snodgrass. Okay, we'll watch for it. Truth Not Fiction Matters. Make sure you guys subscribe to my friend over there, Matthew. He's a good guy. Uh, all right. Now, I've been looking into this situation with the cop and this Floyd, and that's Penny the Patriot over here, so, my sidekick. So, anyway, there's something that's not smelling right about this whole thing, and uh, I'm not going to downplay if somebody's killed by another. That's uh, all the way around messed up. That's the way it is. But I have a really, really bad feeling that the wool has been pulled over our eyes once again, and the reason I say that is because I've been looking into this whole situation with Floyd and the cop, and I've got so many things that I want to point out to you so that you need to look at it yourself. You need to look at what I see and make your own decisions. Don't just listen to me and then go, okay, I got it. Everything's cool. I want you guys to look too, because mine's only one opinion, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one and they all stink. So you need to look at your own stuff and understand it yourself. But here's what I saw. First thing, when I was in the military, hello, Coco and Michael, welcome. When I was in the military, one of the key things about leaving your barracks, hey, Pete, um, uniform was very important. You had to snap, everything had to pop. Your uniform had to be straight. All your labels, your pins, your lapel pins, your ribbons, everything had to look sharp. First thing I noticed about this cop, his badge is almost on his shirt sideways. And, when we were in the military, if somebody didn't look right, you say, look, man, you look like a rag bag. Go straighten up your shit and try to look like a soldier. You would tell them, shame them a little bit. Hello, Duke. So this cop is wearing his badge almost sideways on his shirt. Strike one. That's first thing I noticed. Second thing is, I've been hearing on several other researchers' channels that this cop may have a history with Clowns of America, that he may have done things with them in the past. Still looking into that. Grandma Moses, good to see you. And Jania Leonard, welcome. Yeah, crisis actor, that's what I'm smelling. All right, so the other thing is now, turns out that Floyd and this cop worked together for 17 years at a nightclub. They were the off hour security for the nightclub. Now, that means that they are well known to each other. They are close. Hello, Propus. And that's one of the biggest factors about this. Now, the other thing is that there were two other people in the car with Floyd, and they're not even mentioned in any of this. Where were they when this cop is killing this guy? If I have a friend of mine that's being murdered by a cop, you don't think I'll risk arrest to go dive in there and save my friend? I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. I will do what I have to do. If I see a friend of mine getting snuffed out, I will jump in. But there's no word from these other two that were in the car with him. Now, the other thing is that I took the time and I looked at these videos with this cop kneeling on this guy, and I looked at a bunch of different angles because they're out there now. I zoomed in, I did all the little things to really look at it, and the angle that the most of the images are used is straight off the back of the car, looking at an angle towards the man. So there's a thing called the magic of television. You think all the bar fight scenes in the old West movies actually had people hitting each other? It's called movie angle. You can swing a punch and it looks like you've made contact if they jerk away because of the angle of the camera. Well, if you look at that angle that was used in most of the media, then yes, it looks like he's got his knee buried down on the dude's neck. The other thing, other angles do not. If you really zoom it in and you look at it, then you'll see that his knee is on the right shoulder blade of Lloyd. So it looks pretty violent. It looks like he's squashing the hell out of his neck. But if you really look at it, he's not. He's got his knee on the man's shoulder blade. And the other thing is, if you look back at his feet in his boots, he's got his toes turned under. He's got his knee bent and his toes turned under. So the pressure of his weight is really on his toes. So he's not putting that much weight on that shoulder blade. So I don't think that part works. So the other thing now, and I'm listing these as I noticed them. I want you guys to be able to keep up. So the next thing I noticed is the paramedics that came whizzing into the scene. If you really look at that, didn't they kind of look like they were wearing PD uniforms and not, paramedics or first responders? And the other thing is, they didn't bring a gig bag with them. They didn't have any first aid. They didn't have any of their equipment to respond to somebody who's unresponsive. They didn't have a bag with them. They didn't have anything with them. And they looked like cops. Now, the other thing is, I did some training. I became a field medic. That was one of the things I chose to do along with my regular job in the military. So I was trained as a field medic. And one of the things they teach you is how to handle a body, be it a deceased body or an unconscious body. Now, when you're going to pick up an unconscious body, there's going to be a lot of weight and it's going to be limp. So you have a way of picking that body up and moving it over to the gurney. Well, if somebody is not dead or if they are not completely knocked out, if you go to pick them up off the ground and they flex a muscle or something trying to anticipate the lift, then they flex that muscle and you lose your grip and they go back to the ground. You have to re-grab them. Well, if you noticed, it took them 2 times to get Floyd up onto the gurney. Not once did one of those paramedics check his pulse, do any vital signs on him or anything. They just picked up the gurney and wheeled it into the wheelchair, closed the doors, and off they went. So I'm just suspicious. And I'm not playing it down if somebody was killed in this event. And God bless them if they were. I hope they rest in peace. But I just think that this was a setup. And the reason I believe this whole thing was a setup is during this COVID thing, one of the primary goals of the deep state is to keep people in the streets, get them in the streets fighting each other, create mass chaos, riots, and destruction so that they can blame President Trump. And that's what they wanted to do with COVID. So in these blue cities, it kept squeezing tighter and tighter, trying to get people out in the streets to be violent. They were pushing tick, 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 kind of like pecking at the chest. And it wasn't working. So one of the best ways and the most successful ways to get people out in the streets is to have a white man kill a black man. And not that that is the most common thing on the planet, because people get killed all the time of every race and every description, but it's the one that the media puts into the heads of the people as the most common, and it's the most egregious. So, if you think about this, they had it all set up. The white man killed the black man, and it was all over the media. And guess what? People are in the streets fighting. The when everything else fails, the easiest way to create your chaos is to get your racism fired up. And the one way to do that is to have a white cop kill a black man. You know, so this worked. It got the people in the streets. Well, also, it's the blue cities. And we've already seen that the cops have been given stand down orders. The firefighters were said they couldn't respond to fires, so they're allowing the destruction of their cities so they can get their federal money. That's a pretty obvious one. The other thing is, if you notice what it was targeted in these attacks, and I say that with no pun intended, you got Target and you got AutoZone. See if you can guess who owns both of those. You're right, George Soros. I can't believe you guessed that. Yes, he owns those. So why not make a little money on the side? Get your insurance on these businesses that you own, and turn it into a payday. And the other thing to think about is these people that keep going out on the camera saying, "I can't believe they're burning down their own cities." Well, they're not. These people that are the instigators are being bussed into these cities. In Minnesota, or as I say, Minnesota, don't you know, they had 55 arrests last night, and not one of them even lived in the state. So, no, they're not burning down their own neighborhoods. They're bussing people in from out of state to destroy the neighborhoods because they don't have a dog in the fight. They don't lose anything. They don't have any emotional tie to the city, so what do they care? They don't mind burning it down. It's the problem that the people trying to stand up to them are being the ones that are grabbed. I'm kind of thinking that just most haven't slept in 3 nights, but at least 1,700 more NG just came in. National Guard, yeah, they're moving the National Guard in, and they're talking about military police and stuff. The same cop with a knee was at the Boston race thingy, not wanting to say the word, and Sandy Hook too. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that too. Also, if you guys have looked, if you've seen his mugshot, when's the last time you've seen a mugshot of somebody who could be posing as a model? The image was perfect, the background was neutral, all this stuff. They didn't even have the markings on the wall to show height. So that's supposed to be the mugshot, and it doesn't look anything like the cop. So again, I'm throwing these out there. You look at the stuff yourself and see what you figure out. I was in downtown Dallas last night. What fun we had on the roof. I was barbecue Korean dookie with a rifle. Okay, that's good. That's how you protect a business. But apparently up in Minnesota again, somebody tried to go in and loot a business and got themselves shot and killed. So now they're going after the person that shot and killed the person that was going to loot the business. So the legal system is totally bass backwards and upside down. And until it gets fixed, I don't know what to tell you. Just keep standing your ground. The governor daughter tweeted on Antifa about the military coming tonight. Yeah, because Antifa and other organizations like MS-13 and other gangbangers are amassing, and they're also threatening to kill the National Guard. Now, as a military guy myself, I would never fire on another American in an unconstitutional manner. I wouldn't follow a law that was unconstitutional. But if an American attacks one of these soldiers, then that American can be taken down with extreme prejudice, because you don't attack the military. If you don't want the military to attack you, you do not attack them. And that's just the way that is. So it's a few things to think about. And here's another one to add to it. In my live stream, I was talking about the black umbrella, the guy that was wearing black, wearing his black umbrella and his gas mask and everything. And I told you the significance of the black umbrella, that it has symbolism inside the Illuminati. Hello, Kelly. So it turns out that guy was a cop. Yeah, that's hard to believe too. He was going along with the umbrella in one hand, a hammer in the other, breaking the windows on the AutoZone, trying to instigate the riot. Well, it turns out he was a cop. And there's another video on YouTube. If you look this one up, it's cops breaking their own windows. There's another group of cell phoners that are taking video, and these cops are literally breaking the windows out on their own building, and they're caught right there on their cell phones, unless YouTube has taken it down. But destruction of the government property, and yeah, well, here's the thing: if you can create the chaos, then you can come in with a heavier hammer and get more rule. D-Live was freezing. All right, well, you're still welcome here, Jania. Love to have you. Yeah, I see that not much going on. Scarecrow, thank you for the diamond. And Carmageddon for the lemon, and Prophet's for the lemon. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I got this one over here, so I'm breaking my neck looking at it. You'll see. All right, so, yeah. So I hope you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, and I hope you don't think that I'm downplaying the severity of the murder by cop, because that is a bad deal. And I support everybody in uniform and everybody who can devote their lives to the protection of others. That's just me. I saw several Dallas cops that I know in plain clothes. They never go plain clothes. Not these guys. They are patrol cops. I thought it was rather strange. Yeah, I saw that too in some other places. Plainclothes cops, and in some cases, are actually mingling with the protesters. Acting as if protesters. I saw on Facebook that pallets of bricks were dropped on a corner in Dallas. No construction around. Guy taping it was like, what the hell? Total setup. Yeah, sounds like weapons. Thank you, Kentucky. Appreciate you. Anyway, so I didn't want to necessarily come on and do a long live stream. I was going to do a walk around video and just try to throw these things out there so that you guys could think about them yourself. But there's so much going on that I'm the person that has the bullshit meter that peaks all the time. And when I feel like I'm being bullshitted, I'm on it. I will start looking into it, and I will start figuring it out. And this one just stinks. I don't like it. It looks like it's part of the 16-year plan. Part of the plan to destroy America was to get the people fighting in a civil war type situation so that they could bring in their assets from foreign countries and use them to take out the country and to destabilize our government and, bring in that 16-year plan conclusion that Hillary, the witch, was supposed to take care of. I will say to all the people, the NWO is behind all the psyops. It is called order out of control. Yeah, it's Hegelian dialectic. The Hegelian dialectic. It's cause, reaction, solution. They cause the event, the chaos. They come in with the reactions, the paranoia, the hyper partisan type of emphasis in the news and that kind of thing, and then they come in with a solution, and it's usually got something to do with taking more of your freedoms away, and making more hell on your life. No new UN troops. No, Eric, I don't believe I don't think they're that stupid. There's enough people out here that have made it perfectly clear if the UN hits our streets, then we are at war, period. And, they can try to take one person at a time when they're doing a YouTube video and say, oh, that's a threat. We can't have that. No, it's a promise, because the UN has no jurisdiction here. We are not beholden to them. They do not represent our constitutional republic. And if they are here, they are enemy combatants, and we will take them out. So anybody who works for the UN just needs to understand that you are not welcome here in any form of law enforcement or military application, period. And that is not just my opinion. That's pretty much across the board. Other soldiers, other YouTubers. I mean, we are that serious. So UN troops will not be used. But don't be surprised to see a bunch of Chinese troops on the ground here because they're already here. And think about all the time they own the Long Beach port and how many soldiers they can move into a country in that amount of time. Look at the Chinese restaurants where you go to your all-you-can-eat buffets. Look at the number of employees they have working there, and it's usually a ridiculous amount of people working for the amount of work that needs to be done. Well, that's a cover job that gets their soldiers into the country. And I have asked point blank one of the people that was serving us some drinks at a buffet. I said, "Are you a soldier?" And he says, "Anybody over the age of 21 in China is a soldier." So every single one of them has been trained as a soldier before they came here. So the question is, why are so many here? And the answer is pretty simple. It's because when they can create the chaos, when they can create the instability within the country, it's a lot easier to move a foreign nation in because you already have all of their military assets in place, and they just tell them, "Okay, it's go time," and start moving. Osama bin Obama, yeah, right. Georgia is a good state in my book. Yeah, Atlanta's going through hell right now. I grew up in Atlanta 9 years when I was a kid. Um, I like the place. I like it. I like going down there into the areas now where they tell you, "Oh, you don't go down there if you white." Shit, we used to go down there every weekend. I love that place. But anyway, so yeah, please follow me on D Live. Jeff posted that link for me. Thank you, sir. Again, not intending for it to be a long drawn out video. Appreciate all the gifts over here in D Live. And if you guys have anything to add it now because in a minute I'm about to get off here. Hippies for Trump, how you doing? I started doing a call-in show, Hippies Grooviest Bunk call-in show. I'll be doing one in a couple hours. Feel free to call in. Everyone total First Amendment call-in show, any topic, any caller. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll do that. Hippies for Trump. Make sure you guys get over there in a couple hours and watch for him to do a call-in show. That could be interesting. So anyway, yeah, hit the thumbs up, please. If you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, please do that. If you haven't followed me on D-Live, do that as well. Feel free to drop me an email. I always have my email underneath. Any questions, comments, or otherwise, you can drop them there. If you want to follow me, look for my videos on Bitchute. They're all backed up over there. If you want to donate to the PayPal to help me keep this thing going, help me cut off some of the expenses a little bit, please do that. Otherwise, I think that's all I got. Gary, I was rolling at that. Okay. All right, you guys. That's really all I got. Just keep your heads up. Keep them on a pivot. Stay armed. Stay vigilant. Be ready for anything because it's going to get a lot worse out here before it gets better. I promise you that. We are just in the beginning stages of this thing. And it's just nothing more I can say. You guys take care of each other and take care of yourselves. And until next time, y'all stay in the fight.